Welcome to a new test and teardown video. This time it's something from a medical lab. It's called the Analytical Development Company. Oh, that is nice. And the product is an ADC 225 Mark III. So it's quite obvious what this thing does, isn't it? It says here on the meter, it's a carbon dioxide measurement system. So I think we got some different flows. So that would be a flow meter. See, there's a tiny little ball down there that goes up when the flow pushes this up. And then you can open and close the valve here and just for the wanted flow. And we got two of these. And you can connect things a little bit different. So you got a reference and you got a measurement, and you can purge the air in and outputs here, probably some valves and such. And of course we can select some pumps and A, B, so we have some reference, and that is, I think this is the whole idea. It's a differential between two different things. But the thing is, this one was, of course, violently thrown out because it's not working. And I don't have any kind of use for this, and I don't have any kind of equipment to test it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull it apart in this video and see what it contains of and how it is designed and such. I can tell you this thing is 27 kilos. So it is huge and very, very heavy. I think I will start by removing, see, there's a filter here, and I think we can pull, somehow, you can pull this out and then replace the filter material, because I don't want this to fall down on my floor here or contaminate everything here. So I think there's some sort of a way to, I haven't yet figured that out, but it's was not supposed, see, that is how it's done. Obviously, it's not supposed to be difficult, right? So there's a locking here, and then you remove the lock, and then you push this up. And then out comes the filter material. This one I want to remove and clean this up. And then we can have a little look at the rear panel. And this is exactly what I did not want to happen. See, now I got all this shit all over the place. And it turns out I think I did it wrong. You're supposed to pull up and then take it out and hold these filter container plastic rubber thingies here. So you pull this out as well, and then, well, maybe that is what you need to do. It's so tough to poke around with this unit. It's so heavy. And there's a cable sticking out of the back with a BNC connector. And also we can see it is listed for 220 volts. So that means it is very, very old. I still cannot figure out how old it is, but probably we can figure that out from the internal. We got fuses, mains entry, and there's something here with an output. See how many millivolts or how many ppms or something like that, right? Per volt. So we got some outputs, air inlets, set phase. I don't know if you can reverse this or, yeah, whatever. But I think this is how you open this thing and probably pull something out here from the back, right? I just had one of my little yelling and screaming. What the heck is going on here, man? This unit looks absolutely interesting. All sorts of, what is that? Some vacuum and pumps and all sorts of sexy stuff going on here. And that is probably a little pump. Yeah, that is a motor that can go around. And wow, that is interesting. Can't wait to have a deeper look at what is going on in here. But definitely a wow experience. This one is getting more and more interesting to have a look at. We got all sorts of fancy, smancy thingies in here. I'm actually a little bit out of my league here, but we got definitely a little pump. So something is getting pumped around here, and this is the sensor unit. It's written here on the unit, and we got pumps. See, and they are mounted on a little flexible plate, so we don't have any vibrations. And there's another pump over here, really nicely mounted. Oh yeah, I thought this would have been a little potentiometer to do something electrically, but look at that. See, it goes in here. So this explains why it is so tough to move. I thought there was something wrong with the potentiometer, but it's geared quite a lot. So this is a valve, and the other, okay, those two are potentiometers down here. But definitely, this is going to be interesting. And there's a huge linear power supply, and yeah, we also got a lot of interesting stuff down here under that one. So I'm definitely going to pull this to a million pieces and probably figuring out what it contains of. Oh, the circuit board. We got some IC, so I can probably date and some interesting stuff here. Yeah, let's begin pulling this apart. Here's a little mechanical valve. I think here you adjust how much of the air that goes through the filter. And then here's the output of the filter, and there's a pump. So this recirculate something. It's probably to suck out moisture or dirty particles from the gas you want to measure. And yeah, what else did I have a look at? I went down here, and see, this is something interesting is going on up here. So this is probably where there's a little adjuster here from the back that goes to that point where you can adjust some stuff. And this was the front panel adjustment, and there's a little circuit. Ooh, how nasty. A little circuit board, see? This is how it's mounted. How nice. So, aha, a little op amp. Oh, that goes to that quarks. I think we are inside the detector unit. So I believe there's a light source in one of the ends, probably in here, right? A light source or a detector of some sort, and some optics that goes via those two tubes. And look down here. So the two test samples or something like that, right? See, here is a light pulsing system, and in here is probably a light source or a detector. See, there's something going on here. Ooh, nasty. Now I got dirty fingers. But anyway, in here we will have to go and have a look what is in here. And then also I find another cool little thing. Here's a solenoid. So when you activate the solenoid, you move something in between the output from one of them. See, I think it's supposed to move all that way, so it goes in the middle. See, and then you can manipulate. Yeah, okay, now it works. There's something here is a little bit bent for some reason. This is maybe why it was thrown out, because you can see the calibrator here is not working. Oh, when you activate it real hard, it can move. And you got different samples in these two. So there's probably a little glass or something down here in one of the ends that will allow light to go through, but not the gas. Obviously, you want to stick it into the sample, so it's pumped through this, and the other sample is here. So you have the A-B type of sample. So it's an optical detector. So far, so good. Now we know a little bit more. So in here, that one, I thought it was a sensor, but I think this one is the emitter. This is probably infrared, because you can see the burning mark down here. So this one was probably mounted like that, right? And so this one goes red glowing hot, and so it emits infrared to each of the two sensors here. See, that's a glass, so it's not the heat, but it's the infrared rays that goes through here, and then they are opened and closed in the two different ways. And this is all nice and shiny and reflective, and this is how it was mounted. See, there's actually a calibration screw here, so you can fine adjust the two halves, so you are super sure that you get exactly the same amount of infrared in both of the sides. Yeah, I'm definitely going to test if there's anything working here. Let's try and play with this thing. Is there any? No, there's nothing. Okay, so that is why it's broken. No contact whatsoever here. Give it a few volts and there's no current. Yeah, there's definitely open circuit. So that is why this unit was thrown out, because of the emitter. So this is of course a heater, but so this is gonna go red glowing hot. I am getting a little bit confused about this concept here, because look at that. When I turn this sampler around here, see, it opens both of them at the same time, and it closes both of them at the same time. Maybe there's a little bit of a time delay. I don't know. But that is a little bit confusing. I would have the idea it would be turning on and off like that, but that is not how it works. Interesting. So here's a little interesting thing that I found. In one of the sides, there's a tiny little dark red LED. So this one will shine a little bit of light in here and create a tiny little calibration signal, probably, right? And here we go. This is a CO2 gas thingy. Yeah, I definitely want to have a little look what is going on here. We got another fancy connector here, and everything here looks like it is super old. What is that? So there's a cable going here. So this is probably the detector, right? Yeah, you can almost pull this cable. It was a little tough to get inside this unit, so I think this is definitely the sensor. I still haven't figured out, there must be some optical stuff that takes the measured signal from the two branches and go in here, right? And then I find this quite interesting. So here at the top there's a tiny little contact, right? And this contact goes down to that little piece down here. So here is the sensor, and we got some different colors of some kind of sensor materials here. So I bet something rotates in here as well, and this way it sees different wavelength or some stuff. Can't wait to pull this apart. And there's probably another one here at the bottom, identical to that one. Funny connector, huh? It is getting more and more interesting. So here is the fancy smancy detector unit. And look at that, we got glass here, and this is totally pressure tight. And here is the something that transmit the infrared from the emitter. And we've also got some, I don't know, we can't really, can we see? I don't know if we can see through here. Let me turn the motor now. There's probably a filter, so only the super infrared stuff that they want is going through here. And here is also some gases going via this, and it's of course completely closed down here. And we got the 2 signals here, and then down here is another fancy smancy amplifier unit that is doing some stuff. And under here we also got a little module with some wires that's connected to... Oh, this is just going to be interesting to figure out what is really inside this one. Can't wait to pull this apart. I think I now know why this unit blew itself up. Of course, the 2 different detectors, or sensors if you want. You can look through them. I don't know if I can get this into focus, but you can see this one is nice and clean all the way, right? So I bet this is the reference sample. So the other one, look at that. It's completely dirty down there. You can't see a damn thing half the way through it. We got another little glass down here, and all that is totally dirty. So what it's going to do, it's cranking up the drive level, right? Until there is a signal. And when this one is blocking half of the signal, I mean, of course you're going to blow up the emitter, and then the detector can't see anything. So that is definitely a main service required, and then they of course just threw it out. Also, it's just very, very old and useless today. But anyway, it's quite interesting to see how it was built. The fun thing is about these stainless steel, this is all the piping and all that kind of stuff, they weigh absolutely nothing. It's just because look at that. The wall here is thin as paper. And I bet that is because they want the highest possible inner diameter for whatever gases it is they're putting through this, right? But they are just light as air. This is so amazing. Obviously, they're most likely also quite fragile, so I try not to bend them, because I think all these fittings and all this plumbing and all the little fittings here for, you know, and these and the pumps and the valves and all that kind of stuff, I can definitely reuse this for upcoming projects. And you can imagine all the different pumps and valves and whatnot, you know. There's super useful stuff. So this is the bottom plate of the main sensor unit. Here we got the mechanical adjustments. I'm gonna go and dig into what exactly is it they're doing, because I haven't yet figured that out. That's just some power supplies, not something fancy smancy here, just some op amps and some power transistors. So yes, this is definitely just a linear power supply. But here is some of the detection circuits that's going on here. And remember the detector, we had these contacts. There's like a tiny little contact here. It goes down to this fancy smancy secret metal alloy, something going on in here. And this is, of course, we're gonna go take that apart later. These 2 connections, they're here in the red and that one in the red. See, there's an inductor, and we got a trimmer capacitor somewhere. I can't find it really here. And there's a little switch. Here is a trimmer capacitor, that one. So there's definitely a resonant circuit with the inductors, capacitors, some more inductors, and some more stuff going down here. We can't really see exactly what is going on. We've got some, probably some power or drive or some amplifiers and some stuff that goes down to this front end circuit. So that is what I think we have here. Yeah, some high frequency oscillator, resonator, detector or something. I haven't yet figured out exactly how that works and what is going on, but so far that is what we know. I also found most of the ICs with the date codes, they are 86. So most of them say 86. This one. Many of them say 86, and it's the same over here. We got a few of them much older, but that's probably just old stock they are reusing when they manufacture this. So, I mean, I always kind of date them after the most of them and of course, the newest, right? Here at the front meter readout, we got some relays and again some scaling resistors and a little op amp, and not a lot of fancy to say about that really. So I think I figured this out. The mechanical adjustments here, what they do is they move this one up and down and it tilts. So the other one is the tilt and that one is the up and down. I try to lift it as much as I can to try and show this, but there's no way I can get in there easily. But that is what is going on for some final super timing adjustments, and because of this little shutter thing. And by the way, this motor is a 3-phase motor and it's super good with the bearings. So I finally got this thing out. So yes, this one can move up and down and move and all that kind of stuff. There's a little bit of mechanical things here. I had to remove half of it to get in there. So everything is just made so impressive. Look at the thickness of this aluminium piece here. Yeah. Well. Turns out the pumps here are of course mounted in this nice flexible rubber. As you can see, it's completely dissolved, and yeah, so that makes it easy to take these out. It's a 240 volt pump, and it doesn't really say a lot here about what this pump can do, so I'll have to test if they do anything. And there's a new, even one more little soft rubber mounting here on the bottom as well, so now they just made it doubled good. There's another little funny thing that I found. See, here's the circuit board that drives the meter. Look at that screw, or look at that hole. See, somebody was tired of this falling out. So he drilled a hole here and put in a screw. I think that is a little bit funny, isn't it? I'm a little bit curious about those pumps. So I'm now trying to... Oh, it's using almost 4 watts. Oi, look at those vibrations. It's not moving a lot of air, to be honest, just measurement air. So it's one of those vibration pumps. Pretty cool. But it really works. Got good gaskets. Maybe I can use those for some something, maybe. You never know. To end this video with a more deeper look inside this this sensor. See, it also says this is the detector. So I'm of course not super surprised to see what is going on here. And down here at the bottom, look at that. So this is a heater. So it's able to heat up this entire unit. And this little piece here is probably, yeah, look at that. Oops. So here is the important stuff. There's a little temperature sensor was in that hole here at the bottom of all that stuff. So this little unit here is a little temperature controller in a little rubber. Oh, look at that. There's a little bit lucky to find one of these. The 3-pin Bulgin connectors. They are quite rare, by the way. And I need those for all sorts of things, so that was really, really a good find. Nice piece. So, of course, yeah, like I said, one more connection to the bottom side of that secret sensor and whatnot. I definitely want to go in here somehow. How? Oh, that feels like really, really thick glass. But what is going on in here? Is there a little nasty spring, or what is going on really? It is getting more and more interesting. But now it makes a lot of sense. Remember, I said about there's a connection on this side and on the bottom side here, right? And in the middle, there is this little membrane here made of the thinnest little something that is conductive, probably like a copper foil or something like that. And this looks exactly like a capacitor, a condenser microphone. If you've ever taken any of these apart, you'll see there's a membrane and then there's a contact. And see, when this one moves, this system can measure this. So how is this detector measuring CO2 by a microphone? That is something that I haven't yet understood. But that is what this is. Something. Now I can of course touch it because I'm just gonna save it for later probably. But there's this membrane is, see? Yeah. This looks like it was blown through or something happened right here. See? In this hole here, so there's a short. I think those screws there are used to fine adjust the distances, and something happened to this. But here you go. Funny detector. So yeah, that is how it works. And then yeah, we got some tiny little holes here. See, here is a hole that goes to that piece, and this is completely closed. So it's light that goes into a room, and somehow it is you're able to create some sort of a pressure difference or some magic something that can be detected using an ultra sensitive oscillator, and then this capacitor changes the oscillation frequency and stuff like that. So it's, how is that working? I am completely puzzled. But I think that concludes this video. I hope you learned something, or at least probably right now you're just as confused as I am, and I really want to go now Google all this and see if I can figure out what the heck is going on. And here is the detector thingy, whatever. And then I can't wait for the first to comment, hey, it's doing this and that, and it's so and so, whatever it is. But definitely some sort of a sensitive microphone thingy here. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, tell your friends, send the links, and do your thing, all right? This way I can find some more cool things and show you. And bye-bye.